the greatest happenings in sports at the moment come crashing together. USL Championship postseason and a dollar beer night streak that stretches to 15-0-0 put to the test right here at Casino Arizona Field as Rick Johnson Phoenix Rising Football Club take on Jameson Alave and the Real Monarchs in the Western Conference semifinals to find out who will have a right to play for the Western Conference title here in 2019. Tyler Terrence along with Devin Kerr. So glad to have you with us. Pre-game, as always, presented by our friends over at Reese's Dental. We'll take a look at the Western Conference bracket. And Devin, of course, this is going to be the first Western Conference semifinal. Sacramento and El Paso on the other side of the bracket. I think everybody could have pegged Phoenix. Monarchs have been hot as of late. The other side, though, certainly is a surprise to a lot of people.
It's a tornado that's just taken over the Western Conference. But how is it any different than anything we've seen in the entire 2019 campaign? But how about the Monarchs? They are one of the hottest teams, if not the best team coming in to the 2019 Western Conference playoffs. They have been on a ridiculous streak. Now, we talked about this back at that matchup on October 12th. What have they done since the 2-1 win? They drew Austin, took down Sacramento Republic, and of course, put a drubbing on Orange County on October 26th. They're going to look to continue forth, but to do that, it's going to be against a team that is struggling to find its form, but they feel like they finally got some momentum, got the dead monkey off their back. They won penalties against Austin, but if they're going to do it again, they got to get Solomon Asante going. This is a guy who has been otherworldly all season long. Got the golden boot, set the record for assists in a single season. Oh, by the way, those double digits together, that's a USL Championship record as well. But his decision-making in the final third, as well as everybody else around him, has to be quicker. The opportunities are still there, but you got to speed this thought process up. 2-3 options moving forward. Yes, you get a makeshift opportunity in the back end of it, but the initial look is what has to be better if Solomon Asante and Phoenix Rising want to have success.
And it seems like Asante, since that game against Fresno, in which he missed 2 penalties where the 20-match game winning streak was snapped, has not been himself.
It's so eerily similar to what we saw at the end of 2018, though. 1 goal in the last 10 matches. It has become a confidence thing. The last thing you want to do is push him to the side. You got to find a way to get him going and get him going early. He is the type of player that if he gets that little touch early on, start feeding him down into the channel, you're going to watch him dance, and it's going to be special things all night long.
Well, despite the dip in form from Solomon Asante, Phoenix were able to move past Austin in penalty kicks. Meanwhile, for the Monarchs, as Devin said, one of the hottest teams in the league right now, fresh off a 6-2 win against Orange County. It's a fight for the Western Conference final. It's Phoenix and the Monarchs when we come back.
From the first cut to the final plating, we make every night a classic. The Keg. Why not tonight?
At Arizona Federal, our passion is to help out the community where you live and work, because where you bank should make you feel good. Show your support for the home team with the Phoenix Rising Visa debit card. When you open a new account, you can score $100 just for using your card when you shop. How's that for an easy goal? Be a part of our commitment to the community. Arizona Federal Credit Union.
We're Carvana, the company who invented car vending machines and buying a car 100% online. Now we've created a brand new way for you to sell your car. Whether it's a few years old or dinosaur old, we want to buy your car. So go to Carvana and enter your license plate, answer a few questions, and our techno wizardry calculates your car's value and gives you a real offer in seconds. When you're ready, we'll come to you, pay you on the spot, and pick up your car. That's it. So ditch the old way of selling your car and say hello to the new way at Carvana.
Mobile Mini is a lockdown defender. Have peace of mind using Mobile Mini, guarding all of your valuables on site, at home, or at your business. Mobile Mini storage containers are made of 100% steel and maximize your protection with our patented Tri-Cam locking system that is camera-proof, cut-proof, and drill-proof. Proud partner of Phoenix Rising FC.
From the first cut to the final plating, we make every night a classic. The Keg. Why not tonight?
Welcome into tonight's broadcast, which is presented by Equality Health. Phoenix, the #1 seed, taking on the Monarchs right here at Casino Arizona Field, who are the #4 seed. These two sides met 3 weeks ago in the penultimate match of the regular season. It was the Monarchs beating Phoenix, just one of the 4 teams to do that this season. Let's take a look at the starting 11 for Phoenix Rising. Mustafa Dabuya not in the 18. We saw him come off injured in last week's game against Austin. But Devin, really interesting change here. Joey Calistri in for Jose Aguinaga.
That's going to be the bigger move here. With Corey Whelan, you knew coming in that he had the ability to play outside marking back. So for Phoenix Rising, that's an easy shift. Push Corey outside, Joey Ferrell sits in the middle. Joey Calistri playing as one of those 10s moving forward. How is he going to fill that role? Now, we've seen him do it as a substitute, but pairing in the starting 11 is something that they have not ventured towards. How can you gain some momentum from him early on? That's another situation where John Baquero, Lambert have to ease the tension a little bit and work him into the game. What are you going to see out of the Monarchs? So this is the interesting thing. They've turned in a 4-back. 4 out of their last 6 games, which have been brilliant wins, by the way, we talked about that, 5-0-1, have actually been in a 3-back. They have the versatility to shift if they want, but right now, Noah Powder goes over to left back, Eric Holt to right back. Kalen Ryden and Conrad Plua have been fantastic as center backs, whether it's at 4 or whether it's at 3. And of course, the big boys up top, Michael Chang, Douglas Martinez, and Jack Blake have been fantastic. And getting all of them involved when you've got Portillo and Mulholland sitting underneath you is pretty easy. Distribution's been key.
And you should keep in mind that those big 3 names in terms of Martinez, Blake, and Chang all did not start when these two sides met 3 weeks ago right here in Phoenix. As we are almost set for kickoff, a trip to the Western Conference Final in the 2019 campaign is on the line as we are officially underway from Casino Arizona Field on a $1 beer night in the Valley of the Sun. Tyler Terrence along with Devin Kerr. So glad to have you with us for what should be an epic 90 minutes of football and potentially more. We invite you to turn off the world and turn on the game. Joey Ferrell winning an early header. Near side for Corey Whelan, who slides over to that right back position. And he filled in beautifully once Dabuya came off as Lambert able to win it, but it falls for Eric Holt, who's going to send it into some space. Here's Martinez. Gets the delivery away, but easily handled by Ferrell, clears it. The header from Mulholland travels out of play. And while we have a moment, let's take a look at tonight's Mayo Clinic injury report. As Solomon Asante is down. We did not time that out. And Keniston still remains on the injury list for Phoenix Rising. Mustafa Dabuya was day-to-day coming in. Ricardo Avila, of course, had that brutal injury over a month ago. As Asante quick to get back to his feet. And it was so interesting to hear Rick Schantz post-game talking about Asante and how he really wasn't able to continue in the game against Austin. Even if he had gotten a penalty in the run of play, or even had made it to penalties, it seemed like he probably wasn't going to take one. And for a guy who is the runaway MVP in the USL Championship, to see that sort of selflessness is great, Devin, but also at the same time, your leader and the guy who's supposed to be the most offensive player in the league, a bit concerning?
It's an interpretation of it, right? Okay, so you have the ability as your captain to step aside and let somebody step in when maybe you're not at your best. But where's the confidence? This is a guy who took over the entire league this year and is willing to say, you know what, I'm not at my best. I look at it on the negative side of things personally. You can spin it positively, and I have no problem with that. But for me, I'm concerned as to whether or not Solomon Asante has the ability to overtake a match again.
His last goal from the run of play actually was from a dead ball. Devin and I, you were arguing whether or not that's actually from the run of play, but it was the free kick against San Antonio, which of course extended the winning streak even further until they eventually fell to Fresno and stopped the winning streak at 20 as this goes all the way back for David Ochoa. And here comes the press from Phoenix. And Ochoa gives it away. That's exactly what Phoenix want to try to bait the Monarchs into doing. Pressing high up the field, cheap giveaways. Lambert bothered by Mulholland. Calistri and Lambert got their wires crossed for a moment. Moment, it does look like Jaime Alave is in a 4-back, but that certainly could evolve over the course of the 90 minutes. Characteristic there from Lambert. Here's Michael Chang. Native of Cuba, switches the point of attack and finds local product Tate Schmidt.
That's the luxury you carry with these guys that are on the field, where Tate Schmidt converted forward from his collegiate days. We'll dive a bit deeper into that, but he can sit in the left back position. You can push him up into the middle, and of course, get Jack Blake in the ball just like this.
Turnover from Phoenix causes problems here. Slip through, Blake, nice little back heel. First time effort is just yanked wide. And similar to what we saw in the opening moments against Austin, Devin, these pregame jitters that actually end up going into the actual game and seeing Phoenix maybe be a little bit hesitant in the middle of the park. It's
the quick changes of direction as well, where Tate Schmidt has the ability to quick look up. You look into Jack Blake in the middle of the field, overlapping run, Noah Powder on the outside, and that's that chameleon-like movement we get out of Real Monarchs when you put these guys on the field, where Tate Schmidt, again, left back position, playing the wing back. You get Noah Powder, who can move into a one-on-one marking back, primarily on the left side, but when he goes into that right outside wing back, into a 3, a 5, whatever you want to call it, he's going to be on the right-hand side. You've always got coverage, though, by Kalen Ryden, Eric Holt, and Conrad Plewa in the middle, and those three that are ever present give you the ability to shift side to side, whether it be 3 or 4.
Calistri dumps it into the channel, but easily handled by Conrad Plewa. Asante trying to win it back in a really dangerous area, almost was able to do so. Here's Justin Portillo, only making his 10th appearance for the Monarchs on the season. Long for Douglas Martinez. Monarchs very much look like the side on the front foot, and Joey Ferrell gets stuck in with his front foot. Wheeling in for Asante. This is how he loves to operate. Captain on the move. Has to clip it towards the back post. Giving up just a few inches to Tate Schmidt there. Wheeling back in for Asante. First time on the delivery. Got a play by Kalen Ryden, and our first corner of the night coming up in favor of Phoenix.
I'll take it from Solomon Asante, though. Those touches that he's got down in the corner, that's where you need to try and stoke that fire a little bit. Some of those cheeky little touches where maybe the ball just moving away from him a little bit has definitely gone in the negative direction recently. Able to recover, get it back out in front, and whip one back across. Doesn't end up in the box, but that's okay. You're stuck down here in the corner, continuing to apply the high press, and now you get a set piece out of it.
Vaccaro nodded in, loose in front, shouts for a handball. Pops back out, here's Calistri. Back from where it came, Vaccaro whips in a terrific ball. Ferrell knocks it down, and Ochoa makes the save at the near post. Joey Ferrell, who, since the emergence of Corey Whelan coming over from Liverpool U23s, has seen his playing time dwindle over the past couple of months, but of course with the injury to Mustafa Nambuya, next man up. And talking to everyone at Phoenix Rising, between Rick Shantz, the front office, they are not surprised that he was able to step up in that sort of moment against Austin and slide in seamlessly, and then also converted the penalty kick shootout. Vaccaro will settle things down. When we have a moment, let's take a look at tonight's Allsco uniform report. Copper State Friday for Phoenix, and they're all blacks. Classy all whites for the Monarchs. Vaccaro, positive first touch. Great idea, Corey Whelan getting forward. Whelan lashes it across. Skirts all the way through. He's a little bit behind Junior Flemings, who hasn't even gotten a touch yet tonight. Now here's Amadou Diop asking questions, cleared away by Holt. And underneath the foot of Michael Chang, and now Phoenix starting to establish a bit of a foothold in this one.
Notice the rhythm. Everything's got to be faster, and this goes back to what Rick Shantz said to us. Everything is about tempo. When the ref blows the whistle, watch out, here it comes. That's been something that's escaped Rising over the past few matches, but great movement in the opening 10 minutes. Really going after the Monarchs.
Vaccaro again. Sante back for Vaccaro. Broken up by Ryden. Spaniard knocks it down beautifully for Whelan. Diop. Now here's the reggae boy, Junior Flemings. Looking to work on Noah Powder. Good ball in, looking for John, and almost spilled in front by David Ochoa. Flemings fresh off of his first international goal for Jamaica in the most recent international window in CONCACAF Nations League. It's a good ball in.
Just the exterior matchups that you're going to have to keep an eye on. Already opening 10 minutes, they have switched to a 3 where Kalen Ryden, Plewa, and Eric Holt have fanned themselves out flat, and that's fine. But what Tate Schmidt and Noah Powder have to be careful of is the crafty midfielder play coming out of John Baquero, where just recently he rotates to the near side. He's actually dragging a runner with him. So Portillo and Mulholland, not only do they have to come flat and track the runner, but then you get Lambert, who starts to tuck back in on the inside, and they go the other direction to Junior Flemings. Those are the runs when you sit with 3 and 5 against Phoenix you have to be careful of.
Flemings keeps it in play. Looking to run right at Noah Powder. Calistri, never a problem. And it should be said, Devin, especially with Phoenix on the ball so much, if this is going to look anything like when these two sides met a few weeks ago, is that Jaimes and Olave's group is going to be off the ball for probably the majority of the game. It's going to look like 5 a lot of the time.
For sure. The difference is, though, is that the 5 that you're going to get out of, say, a Real Monarchs is very different than what you see out of Nashville or what you see out of Pittsburgh when they start to sit. Even Louisville, where their outside midfielders are willing to attack a bit more in the likes of Tate Schmidt and Noah Powder. The question tonight for them is going to be the two-way game. Because even Rick Sean said to us, I'd be shocked if they did go after the 3. They've done so many things well in the 4, regardless of their recent success. Why would you do that? Well, he's getting a taste of his own medicine right now, understanding that, okay, Olave's going to give me a different look. But he did say, we've set up, we understand no matter what direction they go, where everybody's responsibilities lie. And early on, they look fine. Dancing on the ball, really nice. For me, I want to note this matchup down here, Corey Whelan. When the ball rotates to the right side, now that he's got the ability to step off the back line on his own, does it wondrous as a center back. But now when you're one-on-one, can you push yourself higher up the field and get involved in the attack? But remember that you got to track back because you got the overlapping run from Tate Schmidt just behind you.
And Olave, of course, coach of the month in October, and rightfully so, given their record and who they've beaten, as well as drawn. They haven't lost a game in quite some time. As A.J. Cochran looking for the big home run ball on the other end. Solomon Asante won't be able to get there. And Asante with a hand of apology because he knows he probably should have been a bit more anticipatory. That ball coming from Cochran is probably one of the better deliveries from the center back position in the entirety of the USL Championship. The best play on a new Ford is at Sanderson Ford, Shop Arizona's largest selection of new Fords with no hassle, no pressure, and no nonsense. Sanderson Ford is America's most awarded Ford dealership for customer service. Shop Sanderson Ford. Whelan. It's a good read from Kalen Ryden. Jack Blake. Such a calming presence in the middle of the park. Portillo connect the dots. Blew up. Lambert, look at those long strides and just dinks it over the top of Noah Powder. Now it's the Reggae Boys leading the charge between Flemings and Lambert. Flemings splits a couple defenders. Was he fouled from behind? Yes, he was. Or at least so says John Freeman, our head referee. It's Portillo who commits the foul. Cards will stay in the pocket, and a dangerous set piece coming up for the home side.
You got to start with a beautiful step by Kevin Lambert, tracking all the way back, and then you notice when they start to go forward, he doesn't peel off here, and he actually occupies the runner right next to Junior Flemings, which allows him to kind of give a 1-2 look where, okay, am I going to come back inside? Because if I do, I have the luxury of touching it just to the right. I can also peel back off to his left. Is there enough contact here by Eric Holt? Quick-footed. Tell you what, there looks like there's a trailing foot left out just for Flemings on the backside of this. And that's where they get you, right? Phoenix starts to go in transition. That quick fire option, that's something we haven't seen as much recently. And then teams second guess themselves, okay, do I dive in? What do I do now? And all of a sudden, you've now gifted them a great opportunity about 25 yards from goal.
Vaquero just whips it all the way through. And Ochoa happily will seal it wide. Just trying to put it in a dangerous area. We asked Rick Shantz what it was going to take down this Monarch side, and he said the middle of the field and the pace in which we play. And he actually picked the brain of Bob Bradley and LAFC, given their loss against the Seattle Sounders. It was an upset where It was similar just in terms of the way that LAFC like to possess the ball. A lot of what Phoenix do try to emulate LAFC. And it's just a matter of tempo, and that's what Rick Schantz gathered from that conversation. And Baquero, Lambert, Calistri, Aguinaldo, whoever's in the middle of the field just needs to be a lot sharper in terms of switching the point of attack and then going.
Well, you can have that conversation with Bob Bradley. I'll make it even simpler. Austin, Fresno, Monarchs. Go back and watch those 3 games. That is the recipe to take this team down, where you have to have the defensive composition of patience, sitting, biding your time, but also the one-on-one matchups where the rotation back and forth. And it's different for the Monarchs tonight, as we mentioned, switching to the 3-back system. But then when you explode going the other way, the opportunities are going to be a bit less. You saw that on Austin Bold for Fresno as well. Multiple teams able to capitalize. Now it just comes down to execution.
Sante got whacked by Tate Schmidt. Phoenix want to go quickly. They have the numbers to do so. Wheelan, back post, looking for Flemings, and it's just over his head. Well, I'll tell you what, the Monarchs totally caught off guard, playing that free kick quickly. They were caught arguing with John Freeman, and Phoenix almost made them pay. Phoenix win it back again. It's Calistri. Baquero. Back for the Northwestern product. Calistri going for the curler. Blocked before it could get anywhere dangerous. Lambert now. Baquero. Asante on the turn. Asante still with it. Finally poked away. Good defending from Kalen Ryden, who's got a couple of long strides. He'll be able to stay with Asante at least for the first few steps. It's a tall task after that. Ferrell, some good defensive work. Phoenix still looking for their first goal in this 2019 postseason. For the Monarchs, they've got half a dozen after their 6-2 win against Orange County.
Still trying to get over that one, huh? An odd match, to say the least. So,
that was supposed to be the marquee matchup in the first round of the playoffs.
Whether East or West, everybody had that pegged as the better one to go down, and unfortunately, Harry Forrester and his double yellow changed all that, sent off.
This one will fall for John. Pinball's around a couple of times. Schmidt. Caught in some hot water here. And gives it away right to the feet of John Baquero. Phoenix will restart. Just barely had enough on it to get to Flemings. Now he's away again. Tackle from behind by Powder. And it'll be a corner. After a shaky 3 to 4 minutes to start this game for Phoenix, they have really established themselves here.
You have to understand that if you're Noah Powder and you're going to go win this ball, you better go win that ball. You overcommit yourself and you put your team in harm's way. Gets a little bit lucky, to be honest. If he's half a step slower here, it's a tackle from behind. Referee almost assuredly blows the whistle. Instead, he times it just right. But you got to be careful. Decision-making has to be better.
Back post, John nods it down. Awkward for Ryden. Lambert got a piece of it. And an acrobatic clearance from Douglas Martinez. Dia was clean and bringing it down. Now numbers the other way for the Real Monarchs. Good ball forward for Chang, maybe a bit too much on it. Look at the recovery pace from Corey Wheelan. And you ask anybody in this Phoenix organization who's been the best player for the past couple of months, and he is right at the top of the list. And now here comes Phoenix. Expansive football here in the Valley of the Sun. Flemings, early delivery right to the feet of Conrad Plua. And Flemings called for the foul.
What was the question mark? What was Corey Wheelan going to do on the right-hand side? Well, when you're getting counterattacked and overexposed, he still knows where he's best. Let's rotate back into the middle. Sees the trailing run by Michael Chang, and he was off into the races. Jack Blake put this ball right where he was supposed to, but Corey Whelan, recognizing that the back line has lost its composition, he just steps right over. Quick little touch and they go the other way. And that is some of that leadership that Rick Schantz talks about, where whether it's distribution coming off the back line, the ability to be a versatile player rotating over the right, or the wherewithal on a counterattack when you're in a 2v1 to get back and help your boys out, why he has been such a great addition to this squad.
Dia nods it away only as far as Blake, now along for Martinez. And Dia, the Frenchman, is right there to seal him off. Phoenix Rising is pleased to have players of Phoenix Rising Youth as tonight's First Watch Ball Kids. Be sure to visit www.firstwatch.com to find your neighborhood First Watch, the daytime cafe. Fleming's able to skirt out of trouble. Asante. Adam John caught a tough challenge from Luke Mulholland. Referee says play on. Portillo. John down behind the play. Brought down by Whelan. Pressure from Tate Schmidt. Things opening up for the Monarchs. Schmidt stuck by Cochran. Great defensive play. Phoenix want to go, but their big number 9 was down just a few moments ago. Calistri gives it away in a poor area. Martinez drawing 2 Phoenix defenders, Calistri and Whelan. Martinez circle back around. Jack Blake thought about it. Lambert right in front of him. Now it's Noah Powder. D out to defend. Powder, a couple of shakes and a shimmy, still with it, lashes it in, and it's on the wrong side of the post.
This is a much better build-up for the Monarchs, where even when Douglas Martinez up top is in a one-on-one situation, he understands that he probably doesn't have the best angle, and he doesn't have it out in front of him, where he likes to operate the most, going with pace in transition. Instead just rotates it back to the middle of the field, and Jack Blake understands that people are very cognizant of the fact that he can pull the trigger from 20 yards out. Instead, a quick little pump fake and allows that run to develop on the far side. And that's kind of what we talked about, where you can sit a little bit. Yes, there's a turnover high up on the field, but you sit back, allow some of this pressure to come, and then you choose your opportunities going the other way. Adam John, a little bit of retribution from the tackle moments before. Jack Blake not happy.
It's that overextended elbow that referees are starting to keep more and more of an eye on. John Freeman just having a talk with Adam John, who is never afraid of the physical aspect of the game, especially in the number 9 position. John Freeman basically saying that's the end of the road for you. Next one is going to be a card. USLchampionship.com. The powers that be between John Harley and Nick Murray pegged the Adam John Eric Holt matchup as sort of the X-factor pairing, if you will, in this one. And so far, you have to say advantage to Eric Holt, just given the 0-0 scoreline at the moment. Good entry pass from Holt. Quite come off for Chang, but seconds will fall for Powder. Martinez checking back to the ball. A bit of a miscue there from Noah Powder. Native of Edison, New Jersey. Actually came up through the Red Bull Academy. Spent a couple of years with New York Rebels too, and John Wolynick. 2016-17 seasons. Michael Chang fends off Lambert. It was a good cutback, but good cover in the end from Phoenix once more. But these giveaways continue to pile up really for both sides, but neither team has been able to capitalize just yet. Schmidt. Here comes Flemings. Holt gets rid of it just in time. Back for Blake. Good build up here for the Monarchs. Blake gets it right back from Chang. He lofts one in, wheeling. Got a touch to it, falls for Schmidt. Towards the byline, puts it across. Awkward here. It should be a handball, and it will be. Phoenix get bailed out by the whistle, but pretty football for the visitors. No shortage of confidence for Jaime Senalaze's side at the moment.
This is impressive to watch, but I want to give a little credit to the referee because he's in the perfect spot to watch this all play out. Tate Schmidt, one-on-one. You actually expect him to knock this a bit sooner, and I don't mind it, though. Going quick to the byline, then bring it back across. He had the window, felt like he needed to go the extra mile. Comes off the trailing arm of Michael Chang, and they did have the advantage to continue to play on, but well done, again, by John Freeman. Sitting exactly where he should be. In this day and age, there's so many talk about how referee made this bad decision, that. We got to take notice when he does do something right, even if it is only the one experience. Just saying. I know I'm calling him out like 5 minutes.
It's very rare from you to compliment a referee this early in the game. You met your quota for the entire season, though.
That's right. Turn the mic off.
Yep. Asante in for John. Great little turn, slips it through. Flemings outside. Junior Flemings 1v1, and it's Flemings! The Reggae Boy gets Phoenix started in the conference semifinals. Terrific counter-attacking football. 1-0 to the home side.
Opening 5-10 minutes, you felt everything. High tempo, intensity coming out of Phoenix Rising. Nothing to show for it. The visitors start to counterpunch a little bit. You think, okay, maybe we got a match on our hands, and we still do. But they weren't willing to push everything they had worked for all season long to the wayside after it was going to be a dogfight. So could you get Solomon Asante involved in the play? Said, need to find a way to get the ball at his feet. No, it's not the assist. But notice, he recognizes the quick little step back in. Everything from Asante had to be moving into the interior and challenging the back line. From Asante to your big man up top, he spreads the back three, and you get the back post run by Junior Flemings. Look at Eric Holt turn all the way back around. He actually checked with Adam John to begin it, but Junior Flemings finishes this entire thing off. Oh, by the way, right-footed back post. You're welcome.
First goal of the playoffs for Junior Flemings, first goal of the postseason for Phoenix. And it's always a matter if they can score first, particularly on Dollar Beer Night. It usually spells bad news for the opposition. We'll just have to wait and find out. But for the moment, Phoenix Rising with a 1-0 lead over the Monarchs. You have to say, if you're Conrad Blue and you're going to go and try to defend Adam John in that situation, the last thing that needs to happen is you to get completely turned.
Notice we saw it from Conrad Blue there. We saw it from Noah Powder on the far side of the field. That is one where there is no gray area. You commit and you win because you don't have coverage. When you don't have the luxury in this system, when you start to check like that, you have to communicate appropriately. That didn't happen, and you didn't win the ball. And that's where they break themselves down.
And now the Monarchs looking to break Phoenix down in order to find an equalizer. Martinez looking for a big switch. It was a hopeful ball, but Dia didn't do particularly well with it. And it'll stay with the Monarchs. We talked about when Phoenix score first, it's usually not great news for the team that's lined up against them. And that statistic brought to you by our outstanding producer, Sharni Yerke. This goes to show that a little bit further as Junior Flemings really in the mood at the moment. John wisely circles back around and looking to switch the point of attack. Calistri. Good challenge from Tate Schmidt. He's claiming he got the ball. It will be a corner. Devin, you're wincing in disagreement here.
I didn't think this was a foul, nor did I think it was a corner. This looked like Tate Schmidt got the deflection to come off of Joey Calistri. Now, I'm not knocking the fact that he actually takes a knock, but if you watch the deflection at the tail end of this, that looks like ball right off the left side of the leg of Joey Calistri. Look at the spin on the ball. That's really difficult as a runner coming through to put that kind of English on it, moving away from you and not get a deflection off the attacker. Regardless, inside 30 minutes, Jaime Senalaze, you got to calm things down now. You cannot go down by 2.
Vaquero, outswinger, Lambert rising for the header. Wasn't too far off. Eric Holt was there just to bother him enough. The question was going to be whether or not Jaime Alave was brave enough to play in this three-back system that's proved to be fruitful. Has them down 1-0 at the moment, but they're threatening again. Ball peeled back, but straight to Joey Calistri. Vaquero. It was a good idea, but Fleming started just a bit too wide. The winner of this match will head to the Western Conference Final. El Paso and Sacramento will play tomorrow night from Southwest University. What do you like in that one?
I'll take Sacramento. I know Mark Lowry's listening. He's not going to be happy with me, but
I'm on the same page.
I got to stick to what I picked earlier this year. I'm going to look like a genius if this thing plays out, by the way. But no, I mean, all jokes aside, they're getting better, and they're getting better every minute of every game, and it's got to speed up in order for them to continue this great run. But that was the most impressive we've seen them in recent memory.
Blake, good ball in, asking questions to Joey Ferrell, who has the answer. It's poor from Dia. Allows Tate Schmidt to get on the ball. Leaves around Asante. Schmidt, a local boy from Phoenix. Long-range effort from Portillo. And first save of the night for Zach Lubin. How good was he in the Austin game? Particularly that 1v1 save against Ivan Tumasi. Had 2 saves in the penalty kick shootout. One on Thomas DiViardi, another one on Jermaine Taylor. 120 minutes of scoreless football. And he's the one who had the mistake against the Monarchs that allowed Kyle Coffey to score that game winner in stoppage time. In what was just an incredible game between these two teams 3 weeks ago.
I think it's easy for us to also point a finger at the mistake and say, oh, you know, that's an unfortunate. It was unfortunate. Monarchs were still the better team that night. They were better than Phoenix was. And the thing was is that Rising recognized that. They go back to the tape, they look at it, okay. They weren't overly distraught because they didn't put together a bad performance. They just got beat, and that's okay. It wasn't like what you saw in other games toward Fresno where it was just flat. Fresno outplayed them, but Phoenix wasn't good. That was different against the Monarchs game. They didn't create enough in the final third, but defensively they were actually quite sound. And so it's that little mistake that you kind of just, okay, let's put our head down for a second, but let's get back to it. So you see a quality response, and as you move forward here, that momentum that they gained on that beautiful 20-game win streak, now can you get it once you hit the playoffs? You got a little bit through the penalties against Austin, and now that's carried over, but you got a lot of time to see this game out. Let's go after them a little bit, push that tempo up.
Monarchs win the ball back, give away from Corey Wheeler. Now it's Tate Schmidt. Great little feint, Schmidt, edge of the area. Blake has to turn, another feint, now it's Chang, and he just sends it wide. Maybe 1, 2, 3 too many passes from the Monarchs, but a number of chances to pull the trigger. And it's Michael Chang who sees the chance go begging.
Any of you boys want to hit the back of the net or what? How many opportunities you get? Pull the trigger right here. No, you take it. Let's play hot potato, pepper, whatever you want to call it. Everybody has an opportunity to put this on frame, and the last one is a little tucked inside effort, closed off by Michael Chang to the far post. Now, I'll take any one of those three. Tate Schmidt, Chang, or Jack Blake sitting right at the top of the 18. But at some point in time, you got to have the nerve to step up and say, okay, it's my turn.
Here they come again. Phoenix just continuously giving the ball away. Now it's Blake with a hard effort, and it finds the back of the net. It was coming, and Jack Blake equalizes here at Casino Arizona Field. 1-1 in this Western Conference semifinal. What a hit from the captain.
He's one of the reasons that this team has been so hot. Injury-ridden earlier on this year and had to find a way to get himself healthy. As the season wore on, they started to reintroduce him more, getting him game fit, and that's way different than training, as everybody knows. But now he's starting to find the back of the net, and he's doing it in spectacular fashion. Pulls this thing from about 20 yards out, off center, Watch this angle. Head up the entire way. Quick little touch. Back post. The ball doesn't even move. This thing knuckles all over the place. Jack Blake. Absolutely amazing. Third goal in playoffs. Second against Orange County was a nice one as well. But when you could put him with the ability to pull the trigger from distance, that is where he is at his best, and that is why he has moved to double digits this year.
Follows up his brace against Orange County in the first round with a goal here against the regular season champs. Now it's Chang on the move. Chang going for goal, and that's just over the bar. Phoenix are an absolute mess at the back at the moment. Chang claims that there was a deflection.
And regardless of how well the Monarchs are playing and giving themselves more opportunities in the final third, I don't see a deflection there, by the way. Rick Shantz has got to have a conversation. And you start this with Zach Lubin. He's the one that's got to be the calming presence. Talk to Joey Ferrell and AJ Cochran, because they're the guys who really start to pull the strings. Very vocal as well. Yes, they lead by example, but they talk a lot from the back line. Corey Whelan more of a quiet soldier who starts to push it up going forward. And of course, we know Amadou Dia likes to jab. But if you get guys like Flemings and John going, you got to supplement on the other side of the ball, and that's just not happening right now. Put the ball on the deck, knock it back and forth a little bit, and start to regain some of that confidence we saw in the opening 20 minutes.
There's some confidence in that back heel for Amadou Dia. Goes through Noah Powder, tries to cut it back. Portillo was there, just got a nick to it. Vaquero, near side for Asante. Excellent first touch, the wrong foot the defender. Asante curls it in, looking for John, nodded straight down, and eventually cleared away by Kalen Ryden. Thanks to our friends at Jackson's Car Wash. You get a free car wash with every Phoenix Rising ticket. Visit phxrisingfc.com/Jacksons for more information. Vaquero gets taken down. And a free kick coming up for Phoenix after some nifty footwork from Solomon Asante.
It's a message that most Rising fans are going to be happy to hear. Want to dance a little bit? Let's tango, my friend. Notice Mulholland, you can't really track it. It's very difficult to do because he's so crafty in that tiny frame of his. And again, even if it's not him putting the ball in the back of the net or providing the distribution, this is much better than what we've seen before. Second, third ball moving itself forward. He was the one who slid it through to Adam John, who of course found streaking Junior Flemings, who put in the back of the net for the opening goal for Rising. We've had this conversation with John Vaquero before, 30 yards out, dead center of the goal. Like, oh, he's got to put this all up in the air, right? And then, of course, he puts it on frame. Keeps the goalkeeper second guessing.
Nobody's second guessing that one. Certainly been an interesting affair thus far. Junior Flemings got the scoring started. First goal of the postseason for Phoenix came in the 25th minute off a great feed from Adam John after a beautiful turn. And then it was just 8 minutes later, Jack Blake, the captain, equalizing for the Monarchs off the assist from Douglas Martinez. And it just seemed like Phoenix, after that opening goal from Flemings, got a little bit too comfortable. Calistri. Step from Amadou Dia, but Phoenix lose the ball, are exposed a bit, but Cochran gambled and won that hand. Good play from Adam John. Calistri, a little bit of room to work with, now being closed down. idea from Vaquero, but just well over Adam John's head, and John a bit frustrated.
The lines defensively from Real Monarchs are a lot better, though. Good look at what they're trying to do. So they're quite flat when Phoenix is right around midfield, but early on we saw Noah Power overcommit himself. We said, listen, if you're going to go to win, you have to make sure that you win your one-on-one battle. That's not necessarily winning the ball. You can push them in a negative fashion. That's what happens here when Powder steps on the right side. Everybody rotates over a little bit.
Monarchs looking to take the lead before the halftime break. Blake, overlapping run, well towards the back post. John again for Junior Flemings, but just a bit too far out in front of him. John's coming deep and receiving the ball and turning. It's giving the Monarchs all sorts of problems because one of the three center backs is tracking with him, and if John's able to spin him, there's just acres of space going the other way. That back heel a little bit too clever for Michael Chang.
And you have to remember, with your central midfielders, they've already stepped so high that you almost have to go as the center back, right? So Conrad Plua, your marker goes. If you leave him, he steps into space all by himself because Justin Portillo and Luke Mulholland are probably about 35, 40 yards from goal, the way that they're attacking right now. And so if you don't step, you give them space. But if you do go, now there's space in behind you. And that's all the communication factor. And they've been good in compressed areas. But when the field is much more wide open, that's where Phoenix has definitely taken advantage of it.
Well, let me ask you this, though. Would you rather have Adam John turning you, or Adam John is not exactly fleet of foot, not an outstanding passer, turning and facing and then running at you?
Is there another option, or is that the only two you're giving me?
That's the only two I'm giving you, because it seems like the Monarchs are basically taking heed to your advice and they're just going to step with him. But if one of the center backs elects to stay or even just take a couple steps off of him, it seems like it's a bit better than being super tight, Adam John spinning him, and then it's 3v2, 4v2 going the other way.
The conversation is transitional defense with the boys in front of you. That's where you don't overcommit. So you're not asking Conrad Plua to step or Kalen Ryden to go because you're still waiting for Schmidt, Powder, or two of your central boys to come back in. So that's where you communicate with Portillo and Mulholland that turnover, you guys get on your bike and you come the other way as fast as possible and compress yourself, because the goal, little Asante step in, Adam John checks back, and then you get the far post run. All of that can be counteracted if you communicate and everybody steps a bit earlier on the defensive side. That is something that Rising struggled with earlier this year. When they lost at Orange County, when they dealt with the loss against Austin, everybody said, okay, we don't like this system. The issue wasn't going forward and it wasn't defending, it was the combining the two together. Once they put it all together, well, the rest is literally history. And that's all the Monarchs are struggling with right now in the middle of the field.
That's where you hear that buzz phrase that the middle of the field and the defense are just sort of disconnected. And it can be very real for teams at times. And we've seen a couple of times tonight for the Monarchs. We've seen poor giveaways from Phoenix. And it's made for some entertaining football, to say the least. Jack Blake, an early delivery. Whelan is there. Well played by Mulholland. Always a cool head. By Vaquero, here comes Junior Flemings. Already with one goal tonight. Snapped away by Powder. And he gets it right back for his efforts. Martinez making a run. Jack Blake picks up his head and picks out Tate Schmidt. Monarch showing teeth again. Snuffed out by Diop. Martinez on the turn. Here's Martinez and a wrong foot's Lubin, and the Monarchs have turned this game on its head. It's Michael Chang, and it's the Monarchs again who are infusing booze to Casino Arizona Field. For the moment, Phoenix 1, the visitors 2.
I loved coming into this show how you said, remember, Michael Chang, you named a couple others, but Chang, Martinez, and Blake, they weren't on the field for that 2-1 comeback at the start of the game. Michael Chang, though, he came in 2 minutes later. He was part of that comeback. He got it to the first goal and then put them out in front on the assist. And it's the run of play. He's so quick-witted in the middle of the field. The fast feet, and he's got this high IQ. Probably one of the more underrated players in all the USL Championship, Michael Chang, and that's a good reason why. Operating in traffic, all he needs is a tiny window to finish it off, and he makes you pay.
What a response from Jaimes and Olave's group. And what an interesting team talk it'll make for in the dressing room for Rick Johnson. Phoenix Rising, who are trailing at home to a side that beat them just 3 weeks ago to snap a 17-match unbeaten streak here in the Valley of the Sun that dated all the way back to the regular season finale from 2018 against Portland Timbers 2.
It's amazing with all the history. Brief, I get it, but the history behind the Real Monarchs, that they just won their first playoff game. We forget that. The team that set all kinds of records and a precedent that Phoenix has now surpassed in the Western Conference as well as the USL Championship. Remember, this was the #1 seed back in 2017. Chandler Hoffman running circles around everybody up top. They had some big names on that team. Sebastian Velasquez is still on the team then. And they got knocked out in the first round last year. Knocked out in the first round as well. Reno did that to them. They finally get out in front. Now they're doing it again.
Lambert around the first defender, now goes for goal, and always going wide with his less favored left foot. It took a deflection though. The Monarch side, particularly in 2017, led by Mark Briggs, fell to Sacramento in penalty kicks. Everybody pegged them to at least get to the cup final when it was called that.
It wasn't even fair watching them, right? They were so good.
Ran away with the Western Conference. That's what the single elimination format can do. Ultimate game breaker as Phoenix see another corner go by the wayside, cleared away by Luke Mulholland. It's 2 minutes of stoppage time.
You combine their history though against the matchups with Phoenix, and the stat gives you an idea. So only 2 teams since the start of 2017, that's the rebrand, Phoenix Rising, only 2 teams have beat them in back-to-back matches. Real Monarchs and San Antonio FC. That gives you an idea of how this team, although they make a mistake and lose a game, they go back to the drawing board and figure out how to get it done next time around. They're in danger once again.
Calais Street.
Ladies and gentlemen, a vehicle in the parking lot with its lights on, a Ford Fusion with Arizona license CJD 2522. Again, Ford Fusion with Arizona license plate CJD.
I can handle this. Go ahead. Get your car.
I'll just need to jump in the end game. That's it.
I'm not doing it. I left my cables at home.
Tell you what, Phoenix Rising could use a jump to start the second half. As the battery has more or less been dead since the Junior Fleming's goal. And that's going to do it for the first half after an opening goal from Phoenix Rising, who are 21-0-0 when scoring first. The Monarchs answer and answer emphatically in the form of their captain, Jack Blake, 8 minutes after the Junior Fleming's goal. And then it was Michael Chang, who as it stands has the game winner and has the Monarchs' second ever postseason win. And as the result holds, it would be the Monarchs moving to the Western Conference Final. It was always going to be an epic night, dollar beer night. 2 sides that do not like each other and have a great history. For the moment, Monarchs 2-1 over Phoenix as we head to halftime. Don't go anywhere.
From the first cut to the final plating, we make every night a classic. The Keg. Why not tonight?
At At Arizona Federal, our passion is to help out the community where you live and work, because where you bank should make you feel good. Show your support for the home team with the Phoenix Rising Visa debit card. When you open a new account, you can score $100 just for using your card when you shop. How's that for an easy goal? Be a part of our commitment to the community. Arizona Federal Credit Union.
We're Carvana, the company who invented car vending machines and buying a car 100% online. Now we've created a brand new way for you to sell your car. Whether it's a few years old or dinosaur old, we want to buy your car. So go to Carvana and enter your license plate, answer a few questions, and our techno wizardry calculates your car's value and gives you a real offer in seconds. When you're ready, we'll come to you, pay you on the spot, and pick up your car. That's it. So ditch the old way of selling your car and say hello to the new way at Carvana.
Mobile Mini is a lockdown defender. Have peace of mind using Mobile Mini, guarding all of your valuables on site, at home, or at your business. Mobile Mini storage containers are made of 100% steel and maximize your protection with our patented Tri-Cam locking system that is camera-proof, cut-proof, and drill-proof. Proud partner of Phoenix Rising FC.
From the first cut to the final plating, we make every night a classic. The Keg. Why not tonight?
Halftime here on a dollar beer night, on a night in the Western Conference semifinals between Phoenix and the Monarchs, and it was the home side who got out to a quick lead. Monarchs with a rapid response. And speaking of rapid responses, let's check in with Rick Shantz, who was firing off some questions a little bit earlier.
Netflix or Hulu?
Netflix.
Dine-in or delivery?
Dine in.
Ronaldo or Messi?
Messi.
iPhone or Android?
iPhone.
Phone call or text?
Phone call.
Facebook or Twitter?
Twitter.
A shootout or a blowout?
Blowout.
Soup or sandwich?
Sandwich.
Hamburgers or tacos?
Tacos.
Pancakes or waffles?
Pancakes.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Beer or wine?
Oh, tough call. Wine.
Barcelona or Man City?
Oh my gosh. Arsenal.
Horror movie or comedy movie?
Comedy.
Star Trek or Star Wars?
Star Wars.
Game of Thrones or The Walking Dead?
I haven't. Game of Thrones? I've seen one episode.
Flash or Green Arrow?
Flash.
Bend it like Beckham or Kicking and Screaming?
Kicking and screaming.
Fullback or goalkeeper?
Fullback.
Marvel or DC?
Oh my gosh, I don't even know. Marvel.
Jennifer Lawrence or Scarlett Johansson?
Oh my gosh, this is the worst. Scarlett Johansson.
Drake or Post Malone?
I like Drake.
Will Ferrell or Will Smith?
Will Ferrell.
Header or bicycle kick?
Header.
Weights or yoga?
Yoga.
Snow or sun?
Sun.
Sneakers or sandals?
Sneakers.
Williams wins it. Seconds remaining, and that will do it.
Warner's going to chip it up over the top. This ball is for Eddie Bolton. Eddie Bolton with a thunderous strike. Are you kidding?
Sion McFarland. Insurance has arrived here in the state capitol.
Again, and the flag is down. Down the left side, Higashi inside the box with a shot, and it's 1-0 Charleston. Go for the win. Van Schaik steps up and he scores.
Fantastic goal from the 31-year-old. Incredible amount of technical ability to go full side volley bike on that. Difference at the final whistle. The mistake, and it's just a pickpocket move from Jack Blake.
What a finish! Third year with the club. Played across. Rasmussen! Masoso wants it. It's Obi, and again Rasmussen doubles the lead.
Santos is onside, he crosses, off a defender, right back in.
Yes, and Nico!
Nico Brett's definitely got this one, and it's Dos Santos. Forbes, can they make it 7? Brett, goal! Oh my goodness, Nico Brett.
And one more time, Macaulay King gets an assist against RB2.
Wow, what a ball. Just clears the defender.
And right at Kelly. Jones slithering through. Derek Jones!
Headed, knocked away. Oh, what a save. Iwasa again. Dangerous here, and Sacramento delivers again.
About Phoenix Rising, is that possible?
Kennedy! Oh, he scored!
Opportunities, missed goals, and a good penalty finish.
More than 100 caps for the Reggae Boys. Saved by Lubin. Cody Mizell, Cochran, and Phoenix are off to the Western Conference semifinals. All roads lead to the USL Championship Final on November 17th on ESPN2. Where that will be, to be determined. It would run through Phoenix if they're able to get there, but at the moment they're trailing the Monarchs 2-1 at halftime. Goals from Jack Blake and Michael Chang on the side of the visitors. Junior Fleming's got things started. We'll take a look at some news and notes from around the USL Championship. And of course, the Charleston Battery head into a new era. Sold to HCFC. And they will remain in the Low Country area. For Anderson Alave, of course, we mentioned before, Coach of the Month. Kyle Murphy claims Player of the Month. Kind of odd that a player is on a team that was eliminated from the postseason more or less in the second or third week of October ends up being the Player of the Month for October. But Kyle Murphy, I don't know if anybody deserved it more than him. And the Portland Timbers, too, are going to be changing venues. And we'll take a look at the entirety of the bracket in the 2019 USL Championship postseason. And Devin, we already talked about the West a little bit in terms of the surprise on the bottom half of the bracket. Meanwhile, on the other side in the Eastern Conference, things go according to plan.
For the most part. One of the biggest questions was going to be the Red Bull 2 Indy match. New York Red Bull 2 had never lost an opening round match. I thought that was really interesting, digging through some stats. I get it. Not all of these teams have the deepest history, but it's still some impressive ones. That's a team that's been relevant every single year come playoff time. And Indy, 26-match home unbeaten streak. That's obnoxiously unfair. The difference is you're not at home anymore. You got to go on the road. You got to do battle against Nashville.
Home away from home.
Home away from home.
Yeah.
But if they want to play it IUPUI, you know, I'm not good at spelling it with letters, but I'm pretty sure I got that right. They're hoping Louisville does their job, and then they get to have a little fun in the Eastern Conference Final.
Well, all those games are going to take place tomorrow. This is the lone game here on a Friday night. And of course, following Halloween, we still got some costumes, or whatever you want to call it. Friday scary, Sunday scary. It's just scary in general. Nothing scary about being mic'd up with Zach Lubin, though.
Some of the best moments for Phoenix Rising's fans are the incredible goals.
Solomon Asante, 3-0.
Fancy footwork.
Moment, Moby Fair gives it away. John on the turn. It sneaks past Olsen and it's in.
But what about the guys who hold the game in these hands? They deserve some recognition too.
We're going mic'd up with Zach Lubin.
Box trying to find Chang. Chang shot! Pushed away by Lubin.
When am I getting verified, Jose? Help me out. It's for Phoenix Rising so I can build the brand. It's actually like the best day of the week. Get a little game, have some fun. Goalkeepers, we're getting a little warm up. Some reaction stuff, a little game. Get us going. We're actually gonna play spike ball. It's gonna be awesome.
Got it. Oh. Yes, shot. Up there. Yes, Tyler. Good defense.
Good defense. Basically like volleyball, except for instead of going over the net, your over the net is hitting it off the trampoline. Killing the clock. You don't kill the clock when you're losing, Carl. So then the next team, you get like one touch each. You get 3 passes to like then play it. Yes, good win, good win.
For Kicking It, I'm Jay Russell.
From the first cut to the final plating, we make every night a classic. The Keg. Why not tonight?
At Arizona Federal, our passion is to help out the community where you live and work, because where you bank should make you feel good. Show your support for the home team with the Phoenix Rising Visa debit card. When you open a new account, you can score $100 just for using your card when you shop. How's that for an easy goal? Be a part of our commitment to the community. Arizona Federal Credit Union.
We're Carvana, the company who invented car vending machines and buying a car 100% online. Now we've created a brand new way for you to sell your car. Whether it's a few years old or dinosaur old, we want to buy your car. So go to Carvana and enter your license plate, answer a few questions, and our techno wizardry calculates your car's value and gives you a real offer in seconds. When you're ready, we'll come to you, pay you on the spot, and pick up your car. That's it. So ditch the old way of selling your car and say hello to the new way at Carvana.
Mobile Mini is a lockdown defender. Have peace of mind using Mobile Mini, guarding all of your valuables on site, at home, or at your business. Mobile Mini storage containers are made of 100% steel and maximize your protection with our patented Tri-Cam locking system that is camera-proof, cut-proof, and drill-proof. Proud partner of Phoenix Rising FC.
From the first cut to the final plating, we make every night a classic. The Keg. Why not tonight?
Well, it's not only a historic season for Phoenix Rising FC that's in jeopardy tonight, but also one of the greatest winning streaks in the history of sports that's on the line. Dollar Beer Night has been good to these fans, has been good to Phoenix Rising FC, but they trail the Monarchs 2-1 at the moment. We'll take a look at how it all went down in the first half. And Devin, first few minutes, it was all Monarchs.
All Monarchs, and Phoenix took a little bit to respond, but they would eventually get into it. The problem was what you're seeing here is basically where they started turning over the ball towards the close of the first half and where Monarchs started getting their goals. Quick little interchanging and looking for the trailing run at the top of the 18. But how does Phoenix get their goal? Again, starts with Solomon Asante. He drops back in. Adam John caused the most problems for that back three, where he was pulling Kalen Ryden, Eric Holt, and Conrad Plua away from their responsibilities. They were over-checking, they were getting turned around, and they were forgetting about the runs coming in back behind them. Noah Powder has to do better. Tate Schmidt was great on the left side, but it has to be reciprocated. So you go one up, apply a bit of pressure, and then they kind of took their foot off the gas a little bit, and I said, listen, this team is not going to back away. Go after these guys a little bit. And then Jack Blake said, you know what, I'm going to take over. Quick little touch far post, watching the entire way, and he hits this thing square. That's really difficult for Zach Lubin. So now we're 1-1. What's the response going to be from the home team? Well, it's not much when Michael Chang takes over. We talked, he's quick-witted, he's crafty in the middle of the field. He doesn't have a lot of space to operate with, but nobody tackles him either. Joey Ferrell has to do better. He goes to ground too late. And as a center back, if you're going to go to ground, win the ball. Instead, he comes in on the back end of this thing. And you take a look at the numbers, right? Okay, both teams got a decent amount of shots. The number that's concerning for me is the number that's not up there. What's that number? Solomon Asante has 22 touches on the ball. Zach Lubin has 15. That gives you an idea of the amount that he has not been able. And oh, by the way, that number was 18, so he was only 3 with 30 seconds to go. So we got 4 touches in the final 30 seconds. He had only 3 more than his goalkeeper. He is too integral of a piece to this team. Whether it's him or somebody else on that right side, you got to find a way to have a balance, because right now it's too linear.
Well, they got to get him going. They got to get the entire Phoenix Rising 11 on the field right now going if they're going to keep this season alive. For the moment, the Monarchs lead by a score of 2-1. Thanks to goals from Jack Blake and Michael Chang. Junior Flemings opened the scoring in the 25th minute. The winner will take on the winner of Sacramento and El Paso for right to claim the Western Conference Championship. Tyler Terrence along with Devin Kerr, so glad to have you with us here on ESPN+. Phoenix Rising, of course, set every record known to mankind in the USL Championship during the regular season. Longest winning streak in American soccer history that stopped at 20. But at the end of the day, if you don't get to the final, or if you don't win the final for Phoenix, especially given the fact they got there in 2018, to a lot of fans here in the Valley of the Sun, it would be looked at as a lost cause. As now the whistle looks like it's going to go against Phoenix. Tate Schmidt is saying that there should be a card involved. John Freeman's desperately trying to restore order. It looks like it will be a yellow card. Bizarre start to the second half.
It's turned into a chippy affair, that last match out in early October. Second half loaded with a bunch of fouls, started some stoppages, really difficult to get into a rhythm. And that seemed to always suit opponents against Phoenix Rising. Rising like to be a bit more open in their movements. That man right there has not had the best past couple run-ins that we've seen. You mentioned the one goal in the final 10 games in 2018, and starting to head into a similar area. Now, he was involved in the first goal tonight for Phoenix Rising, which is nice to see. But with the ridiculous season that he had, you just expect more, and that's not necessarily knocking on Solomon Asante. Sometimes you have to find a way to work him into a match indirectly, where maybe you start to overload another side. You play a long ball in Adam John and go direct a bit more up top. Maybe you overload the left side with Junior Flemings, but you have to find a way to get him into this match.
Meanwhile, on the other side for the Monarchs and Jaime Olave, you have to imagine that there's going to be a lot of pressure coming in this second half. What might have been the message at halftime, Dev?
Don't mess it up. It's plain and simple. You guys have worked really hard. That was an impressive half where, notice, opening 10, 15 minutes, yes, they had the one chance that we showed you, but their shape wasn't the best. Defensively, they were struggling with movement from Rising, but that all took over.
Chang looking to take this game over and just shepherded out of play by Lambert.
It was the ability to, number one, communicate better. When you start to attack going forward, whether it was Noah Powder on the right or Tate Schmidt, you had to make sure that there was always coverage there. You started to see Luke Mulholland and Justin Portillo in the midfield start to get forward, but they brought their line with them. It wasn't 2-3 guys going up, so that when the ball did get turned over, that wide open space wasn't readily available. Opening 10, 15 minutes, that's where you saw Asante could come get it. They could find Adam John up top, and there was 20, 30-yard gaps that they could play through. That wasn't the case anymore. And that's some of the stuff that we were talking about, where you said, okay, would you rather have Adam John turning you or peeling back in and, you know, not necessarily fleet of foot? When you push him into a small space, he doesn't get either option. So now you're making Rising go another direction, and they're capable of it. They just got to start to put their head on a swivel a little bit and look at the other options available to them, because they're not taking advantage of them.
Both sides just trying to see which cards the other team is holding right now at the moment to open up the second half. Hasn't been a necessarily clean opening 4 minutes of the second 45, as AJ Cochran finding Adam John. He gets taken down from behind by Conrad Plua. And Phoenix want to go quickly here. Baquero pulls it along for Asante. Now it's in for Kalistri. Half-hard across. Asante checks back to the ball. Much better from Asante. Flemings rising for the header. He beat Noah Powder to the punch, but couldn't quite connect. Crisp here from Phoenix. Asante lofting it in. Here's John snapping it down, and it's just wide. By far the best ball movement we've seen tonight from Phoenix.
What was Rick Schantz preaching? faster, higher tempo, and that's not necessarily run and gun 100 miles an hour down the field, but look how crisp they are on the ball. Lambert plays one outside. Asante initially wants to tuck in. It's that little touch that doesn't get to him, but he has intent behind it. He knows that there's going to be a secondary option. That comes in the form of Adam John. Not able to finish it off on the back post, but this is what they're looking for. Keep feeding the beast up top.
Stanford man couldn't quite knot it home. Good delivery from Asante, as the Canadian is still trying to refine his form and set the Western Conference on fire during the regular season. Carroll. Ends up working out nicely for Phoenix. Calistri got absolutely drilled. Two players who are down. It's Luke Mulholland and Calistri. Set piece coming up here for the home side, who are putting the clamps down at the moment.
Interestingly enough, John Vaccaro actually immediately recognized Corey Whelan on that far-sided run. He had him in the overlapping and wasn't able to get it out there initially. Got a little bit lucky that he didn't turn it over, because that deflection had disaster written all over it going the other way for the boys in the white jerseys. Right there, coming off of Mulholland. And I tell you what, I got to be honest. Seeing it again from this direction, I do not agree with this referee's decision whatsoever to give it to Rising. Luke Mulholland, the one that is stepping in. Joey Calistri comes flying back across. The momentum's going the other way. He actually crashes right into Mulholland. And it's off the deflection of the Englishman in the middle of the field as well. Regardless, John Freeman going to give him another chance, and this has to be 100% outside of the reach of John Vaccaro. So there's a little touch. Stands up. That's a foul on Joey Calistri. You got to go the other way. You can explain to me how that ends up as a free kick from this distance, but they're going to take it.
It's Asante. It takes a deflection and a corner kick coming up. Enjoy the legendary Sonic Car-Op Classic with a juicy quarter-pound double cheeseburger or a 6-inch Philly cheesesteak plus tots for a knockout price of $2.99. But before you do any of that, Phoenix have another corner. Good ball, John was there. This time did just a little bit, back out for Vaccaro. Dia. Mulholland had to make sure of it, and another corner coming up for Phoenix Rising. Change the angle. Ferrell, good ball in. Cochran didn't know exactly what to do with it. Dia goes to ground. Good challenge. Now Tate Schmidt into the channel, but nobody there for the Monarchs, and Zach Lubin will happily collect. Flemings. Puts it in, easy enough for Ochoa.
David Ochoa, just step on this for a second. Emerson Olave, quick little bark from the sideline, calm this game down as Phoenix have once again come out of the dressing room with a lot of intent behind their actions. Starting to produce a bit more impressively than they did in the opening 45 minutes. Again, it's a war of attrition, and they weren't able to continue that throughout the entirety of the first half. That's something that Rick Schantz has talked about, where, you know, maybe they're just pulling the trigger a bit too early and then not going after it once again. I've actually been quite impressed with Joey Calistri in the middle of the field. He's done well for himself. That was one of the bigger question marks. How would he fill the shoes of Aguinaga in the middle? Rick Schantz did lead us down that path, said, you know what, this might be a better look for him to come in 65th minute and help out.
Vaccaro, fortuitous bounce, sends it back in, deflection. Just out of the reach of Calistri, here's Lambert, another nasty deflection. Adam John wanted a handball, but Phoenix made another corner out of it. They're pounding on the door. Asante, early delivery, Ferrell rising for the header. Martinez for Jack Blake, but he's offside. Ferrell with a decent idea to try to find Joey Calistri. Dia. Fleming's so shifty. How's that from Justin Portillo? Nice footwork from Noah Powder to draw the foul. A little bit similar in terms of the back and forth seesaw nature of this Western Conference semifinal in the same edition of this competition last year against the Swope Park Rangers, where we had 4 goals in the first 45 minutes, and then Lambert came out and scored a goal off a nasty deflection, and then Didier Drogba will end up sealing the deal and making it 4-2 and sending Phoenix to Orange County, where the Western Conference final was held. The only difference this time is that Phoenix were trailing at the half and trailing 12 minutes into the second half. Ferrell launches one on the other end, well out of the reach of Solomon Asante, but allow Phoenix to try to pin back the Monarchs deep in their own defensive third. We'll start to see a lot more of that as we continue on through the night. Stepping to Baquero. Now finds Dia. Bends one in. Felt like he was fouled. Dia wins it back cleanly. Justin Portillo has been everywhere defensively for the Monarchs. And that's what it's going to take to beat this Phoenix side. It's a complete 90-minute effort from every member on the field. Asante, back to his usual tricks, stays on his feet, puts it across, available for Baquero, and he skies it over the south end. And it's time for the Sonic Happy Hour, brought to you by Sonic. Enjoy the Car Op Classic for a knockout price of $2.99. If a Rising player scores during the 60th minute, one lucky fan will win a $500 Sonic gift card. For more info, visit phxrisingfc.com/Sonic.
Just to be clear, whether you've done this read or not, this is happening. So if this goes in the back of the net, I'm looking right at you, and I'm getting the gift card. I can promise you that much, because John Baquero had this in his sights. But this is a difficult one to take, as this is bouncing off the pitch, top of the 18. You have to lean up over the top of this ball, because you want to get enough momentum on it, but he's also trying to pick out that upper corner. He knows that one got away from him. That's a marksman who should have done much better in that situation.
Too late. You know when the only goal in the Sonic Happy Hour was scored, right?
You've asked me this before, and there are certain points in time that I just stop listening to you.
Fair enough.
That was one of them, because I was so excited about what was going on. I can honestly say I forgot what match it was. I'm going to take a guess, though. I'm going to look back at the schedule. I'm going to say it was in June against Orange County.
You're wrong.
Tell me.
It was against the Monarchs when they were down 2-0. Junior Flemings had the go-ahead goal.
That was going to be my next guess.
I doubt it.
I thought it was a home game, to be honest. That's why I have you.
Yeah, sure.
It's people helping people.
That's why you have me. You just admitted sometimes you just switch me off.
I still have you, though. Not listening to you and you not being there are two totally different things.
Very different things. Yeah, look, card issued to Jack Blake for a bit of time wasting.
A caution has been issued by the referee to Real Monarchs SLC, number 48, Jack Blake.
Noah Powder in for Blake. Clever back heel for Martinez. Here come the Monarchs for the first time in the second half. More than an hour gone, and it still is the Monarchs moving on to the Western Conference Final if this result holds, where they will take on the winner of Sacramento and El Paso. That game is going to be in Texas tomorrow night, as will the remaining conference semifinals around the league. Obviously one more in the West and the two in the East. Pittsburgh, Louisville from Highmark, Indy 11, and Nashville. It's going to be an absolute slugfest with plenty of goals. Said no one ever.
Well, I'm looking up to the top right corner, and we've reached that time of the year where I'm AZT, Arizona time. You can say
reading's tough. Yeah,
reading is tough, yeah. Reaching that time of the year where clocks turn back about 24 hours from now. 24 hours and 4 minutes to be exact. Arizona does not follow daylight savings, so they'll go to
always have to be different.
Yeah, Copper State Kids, 20-game unbeaten streak, dollar beer night.
Hockey in the desert.
Hockey in the desert, Arizona time.
Yeah. It was interesting from Joey Ferrell, and even more so from Asante, but somehow he gets the ball back. More than an hour played. Phoenix looking for an equalizer. Flemings was shoved over in the penalty area. John Freeman does not point to the spot. That certainly looked like it could have gone either way. We've seen that a number of times this year given to Phoenix. Flemings, good idea for Asante, but runs out of room. Ochoa will seal it out. A bit of theatrics from the keeper afterwards. Quickly back to his feet to bark in the ear of John Freeman. All sorts to sort out. Let's start with the penalty controversy.
He's not happy with everything on the back end of this. Solomon Asante stretching this game a little bit. That touch right there from Junior Flemings. He's got the arm on the back. I'll say this. I've seen penalties given for less. That's a difficult ask of a referee. Western Conference semis, there's enough there that you could argue, but I'll tell you what, he's already leaning forward, which is what gets him in trouble here. If Junior Flemings holds his ground straight up and keeps that body upright, and then the contact comes, that's a penalty.
He knows exactly what he's doing there. He planted his feet. His momentum's carrying him that way.
I've seen guys halfway to the ground, and they've been given penalties for that. I think it's the right no call, but you can understand why maybe it's been given in the past. Again, Junior Flemings isn't necessarily known as one that's going to go to ground super easy, but he knows that the writing was on the wall, try to take advantage of it.
25 minutes remaining. A bit of controversy in front of the south end. They'd love a goal. Portillo. Asante, long ball the other way. Too direct for Flemings. Ochoa will keep it in play. At some point, if you're Flemings there, you just have to go after him, no?
What's the worst case? You get a yellow card? Just throw it on my tab. I mean, you got a youngster on goal that wants to play around like that. You give him a second chance, which probably won't come that way. Someone's getting to believe in their feet, and someone will get hurt. The shape in the midfield is quite impressive right now, to be honest, from Real Monarchs, where Portillo is almost single-handedly sitting as they're out now at 6, and Luke Mulholland He's playing an interesting role. He rotates flat next to him. He'll step up a little bit. Jack Blake is the key piece here, where you can see him tucking right next to John McCarroll on the left shoulder, but he steps up as well, and they can create 3 across the top with Chang, Douglas Martinez, and Jack Blake. And there's a quick little look at the rotation. Now he's come all the way to the outside, and everybody just passing one on to the next. They get stuck in, they go the other way.
Trying to bring it down, did well to get away from Blake, at least for the moment, but Portillo comes over and double teams him. Portillo's been outstanding defensively. Rick Schott's not happy with the officiating, barking in the ear of our 4th official, Dejan Shushak. Excuse me, it's Lucas Spala. Touch from Noah Powder. Pressure from Dia. Given away. Dia trying to get there. Eric Holt to the rescue. Wheelan falls for Asante. Took a little bit of a knock, but stays on his feet. Circles back around. Initial header won by Ryden. Back in from Wheelan. Ryden once more. Flemings posting up, looking to go to work on Powder. Able to turn him. Flemings. So well done by Portillo. He's been a revelation in the middle of the field. Chang through the legs of Cochran, but Cochran recovers.
As the Monarchs continue to sustain so much pressure on the defensive side of the ball, you have to look on the top of this pyramid that they have for the 11 and where the changes could be made. Remember, past couple matches, they've intertwined Coffey and Martinez, where they've switched them at 45 minutes. They don't have that luxury with Coffey being injured. So you wonder, where does the next move come from? Well, just running down. I mean, Herman is in there. That's the easy switch. Double-digit appearances where you can throw it up, get some fresh energy up top. Douglas Martinez acquiring the Real Salt Lake, deservedly so, contract about midpoint of the season. He's been in and out of this lineup. Now, everybody knows their role here, especially since switching into this counter-attacking style with the 3-back. You need some fresh energy, especially when Phoenix is going to go to their bench soon.
Come out the other way before the Monarchs can take advantage of what was a ball that could have been really problematic for Phoenix.
How about on the other side of things, where Rick Schott's said to us, almost verbatim, I would love to see if we make this switch and bring Joey Kalishi into the middle. How about Aguinaga, 65th, 70th minute, fresh legs, and just let him run rampant in the middle of the field. You're hitting 70 minutes right now. So does he have the ability to pull that trigger, especially when Joey Kalishi, who's done well, isn't necessarily providing a massive offensive look right now, and you got to find a way to get those boys in the middle field. Lambert's been great, but Carroll's starting to open the things up. So where's the third part of that triangle?
Martinez. Here is Jack Blake. This is how it finished just a few weeks ago. Give away from Portillo in a tough spot. Asante, fizzing ball out wide for Flemings. 1v1 with Eric Hope. Flemings waited a bit too long, but good transition play from the Monarchs. Able to get numbers back behind the ball, but a bit of ambiguity there on the side of Flemings, and it results in a turnover. And you can see if the Monarchs can be professional in these types of moments as Jack Blake goes for goal.
Some of the same stuff we talked about in the open, where chances are there. It's just the decision making once again. I like the peel off by Adam John. So that gives you the decision, okay, do I want to knock this ball up in the air and let him go chase it? It's definitely not the best decision. So now you're in a one-on-one for Junior Flemings. Takes a couple too many touches and just gives it away in the middle of the field. Run at him if he's giving you the chance.
Running a powder, but getting stood up. Vaquero trying to find Calistri. Cochran getting involved. Rolls it along for Dia. Seconds fall for Asante. Still Asante. Now he pulls the trigger. Picked up by Ochoa. Seeing some times where Phoenix is void of ideas in the attacking third. We've seen on a number of occasions Asante, Flemings, and the like trying to take matters into their own hands. Less than 20 minutes away from a massive upset in the 2019 USL postseason, which would see the Monarchs move on to the Western Conference Final to await the winner of Sacramento and El Paso, who will square off tomorrow night in the Lone Star State. Asante stood up, but it falls for Lambert. Vaquero. Good ball for Dia. What does he have in store? A turnover. Blake's pass is cut out by Vaquero. On it from Lambert, not exactly sure where he was trying to go. A bit too much pace on it for Joey Calistri, who was only 5 or 6 yards ahead in front of him. And the Phoenix Rising sports car that had every type of gear imaginable during the regular season, seemingly stalling in the Western Conference semifinals. John just trying to bully his way through. Tate Schmidt will go negative. Step from Dia. John Freeman not interested. Calistri, good idea. Dia towards the back post. Won by Plua. Holt away. Calistri fouled at the edge of the area. And a mighty good set piece opportunity coming up for Phoenix Rising.
Blake's in the wrong here. Doesn't get any portion of the ball, and he's going to argue it's a 50-50 challenge, but watch, he takes out basically the entire right side. Joey Calistri already has a touch in a positive manner going right out in front of him. That's well done by Calistri. He has been nothing short of spectacular in the middle of the field. He isn't providing that massive offensive stretch, but he's doing very consistent things, allowing you to continue to push forward, and that all stemmed from playing direct, getting down to Amadou Dia, and allowing that second chance ball to come in. And although you have a quick little look down on the left foot of Amadou Dia, you gotta imagine from this angle, John Vaquero is licking his chops.
Vaquero with delivery towards the back post, it's all the way in, and Ferrell sends it over the bar! Oh, how on earth did he miss it? It fell to him in an awkward spot. Adam John did everything right on the back post, and Joey Ferrell inches away.
Right where you think the Spaniard's gonna go direct to goal. Look at that back post run. That's Adam John going up, winning this ball, putting it back across the mixer. Sometimes that's all you gotta do. David Ochoa, ecstatic. But to be honest, he coughs up a lucky one on the doorstep. This should be 2-2.
Space was in front on the left-hand side because everybody in the building, including your commentators, were expecting Vaquero to hit it. And it was clever execution in the end, but Joey Ferrell might have nightmares about that one if the scoreline holds. So many times this season we have seen Phoenix come back, whether it be on the road or at home, and in some fashion able to get the job done, especially during this country's longest winning streak in the history of the sport, which was capped off at 20 games. Saw comebacks against Tacoma, comebacks against the Monarchs, game winners against San Antonio. Lambert from distance.
That one's quite literally out of the stadium. That's just frustration by Kevin Lambert in the middle of the field. I don't want to say it's unnecessary because we know that he can put his laces on it, knock it with the best of them. You've got good possession of the ball. Go side to side here, trying to open him up a little bit. And the other discussion is something we have seen from Phoenix in the past. What about the possibility of bringing Ben Spencer on? Now, he's not necessarily my favorite attacking option, but he has shown when you want to put the ball up in the air, he can help you win those aerial battles. He's also bagged a couple goals recently, too. A couple options that the rising coaching staff have when they do go to the bench. And it has to be in the likes of Ben Spencer or Aguinaga in the middle of the field. And of course, you've got Jason Johnson. Jason Johnson and his speed would really allow you to open this game up, get to the width, because that side-to-side we talked about, you saw some of Junior Fleming's on the left in the first half. You've seen minor glimpses on the right of Solomon Asante, but they're still not utilizing everything. Both of these boys just open this team up and spread them out thinner and play through the lines.
Asante. Is it taken away by Chang? We're getting word that Ben Spencer is getting set to come on for Kevin Lambert. Spencer, of course, had the equalizer laid on against the Monarchs a few weeks ago. Ended up being irrelevant in the end as Kyle Coffey had the game winner. Here comes Ben Spencer. He was signed through a trial during the preseason. Suffered through some injuries in the beginning portion of the regular season campaign, but really in the last couple of months has come into his own in a Phoenix Rising kid. Lambert comes off, and Ben Spencer, who already has a goal against the Monarchs this year, comes on. Came on as a substitute against Austin last week in the conference quarterfinals. Did particularly well. Converted in the penalty kick shootout, although Diego Restrepo should have kept it out, and that would have seen an Austin Monarchs conference semifinal. Here's Amadou Dia. Dummy from Spencer. That was a terrific idea. Had somebody been behind him. The ideas, the passes are there. It's just the final product. Wheelan, good ball in a space for Kalistri. Numbers in the penalty area. Asante lost his footing and lost the ball. Tate Schmidt. Too much air underneath it. Cochran picks it out of the sky. Dia jockeying with Jack Blake. Did well to not commit the foul. Good ball from Mulholland, and here comes Douglas Martinez. Monarchs looking for an insurance goal. Martinez, and a big save from Lubin. That could prove to be critical as Martinez is denied in a 1v1 situation.
This is the final dagger, right? Okay, Phoenix's season is done. Douglas Martinez one-on-one, seen it so many times before where it ends up in the back of the net, but not tonight, not in this moment. Zach Lubin, atoning for his sins just a few weeks ago, pulls these boys up from the ashes to keep them in striking distance.
Ensuing corner for the Monarchs. 10 minutes remaining plus stoppage time. Portillo knotted away by Ferrell. Not a ton of numbers forward for the Monarchs, protecting a 1-goal lead. Mulholland. Back out wide. Portillo. Poor clearance. Blake. Nice little feint, and it's Blake! And another outstanding save from Zach Lubin. gets a hand to it, keeping them in the game. Phoenix on their heels, down a goal.
This is why he's at the top of the USL Championship in clean sheets and top 10 in saves. Even when his team is bagging goals on the other side of the pitch, he always rises to the occasion. A difficult one for Lubin as well. Blake could have gone either direction here. He has to be able to account for the far post pull, but still be able to drift back across on that near shoulder. Well done by Zach Lubin.
No surprise that he was one of the finalists for goalkeeper of the year. Portillo again, Lubin off of his line, strong fist away. Fleming's trying to get ahead to it. Schmidt launches one in the other direction. Dia lines it up. Blake on the turn, acres of space. Now closed down by Dia.
There's some tired legs by the boys up top from the Monarchs. Jack Blake starting to really show the effects of the attrition his body is taking. Michael Chang going to ground.
Substitution for Real Monarchs SLC.
And it's going to be Chang.
Entering the match is number 26, Luis Arriaga.
Yeah, Luis Arriaga.
Leaving the match is number 44,
the homegrown product will come onto the
Chang.
field. It's the teenager from Santa Rosa, California. He was signed in November of 2018. We'll take a look at what Michael Chang was able to produce, and at the moment, it's the game-winning goal.
No apologies necessary for this from Michael Chang. This is where you just can't give him any freedom to operate whatsoever. Push him to the exterior, make him beat you from the outside. The minute he gets in to the middle of the field, you're done. And Michael Chang makes you pay once again, just tucks it away. You can see the KT tape already racked up on that right calf, which is where he was reaching. And you wonder, if you get past this, what does that look like going forward? Going to ground again, finish this one off first, and then let the youngster come in to see if he can help these boys push forth and get the victory.
For the past 3 or 4 minutes, Phoenix have been defending for their lives and relying on a couple of highlight-worthy saves from Zach Lubin to stay in this game. Throw-in still hasn't come, and now Noah Powder's going to go into the book for time wasting.
A caution has been issued by the referee to Real Monarchs SLC number 53, Noah Powder.
Six minutes left plus stoppage time. Phoenix have to go. Dia keeps it in play. Baquero. Baquero trying to sneak it through. Mulholland goes to ground, but look at Jack Blake and company. 3v2 if they hurry. Blake slips it through. Here comes the Monarchs. Arriaga, was he taken down? The referee says no. Dia sprays one the other way. Calistri trying to keep it in play, but a goal kick coming up. End-to-end action, plenty of controversy.
We've had a couple sniffs as to whether or not we should point to the spot tonight. I'll tell you what, Zach Lubin, watch as he cuts his back across. He clips his heel. Watch the right hand. He gets him right there. That's a penalty. You gotta point to the spot and get this right. John Freeman, you're close enough to call it.
Another Phoenix substitution as Jason Johnson is going to come on to replace Amadou Dia. Rick Shantz throwing everything at this Monarch side. Another defender comes off. Another offensive weapon that's been laying dormant since April. He hasn't put the ball in the back of the net since a game in late April against the Tacoma Defiance. Comes on, trying to spark a late equalizer for Phoenix, or else their dreams of capturing a USL Championship final trophy are going to dissipate into the dry desert night. Johnson commits the foul.
Now Phoenix obviously have gone to a much bigger lineup going forward. Jason Johnson with his leaping ability. AJ shifts out to the left side. Joey sits in the middle, and Corey Whelan to the right back position. John Baquero is starting to drop a lot deeper, so take advantage of that. Put that ball on his feet and let him dictate which direction you want to go going forward. You've moved him there for a reason. Now try and capitalize on it. Even if you want to put the ball up in the air, bring it off of the Spaniard, because he is your playmaker that you got to try and utilize as a number 10, no matter where he lies on the field right now.
88th minute. It is absolute desperation time here in the Valley of the Sun. Asante for JJ. And he gets clobbered by Powder. He's already on a yellow card. Oh boy. Phoenix fans barking for a second mustard to be shown. Devin, what are we thinking?
Well, first and foremost, I don't even care if the card comes. You're wasting time. So pick it up because it's ticking. The challenge, that's a yellow. That's a second yellow and you are gone. You don't make any contact on the ball whatsoever. You follow through. It's reckless. He should be off the field. This should be down to 10 men.
A missed penalty on one end, a missed second yellow card on the other. Baquero knotted down by Spencer. Shouts for handball again. They are going to get a corner out of it. 89th minute. This just smells of pure drama. More than 7,300 on hand here at Casino Arizona Field. Phoenix's historic regular season in jeopardy here in the playoffs. Mulholland wins the header. Wheeling back in. John. Asante trying to beat Schmidt to it. And a goal kick coming for the visitors. And they are just a few minutes away from pulling off the upset of the 2019 USL Championship postseason. And pulling off 2 wins at Casino Arizona Field in a matter of 3 weeks. Flemings. Backfield for Johnson. On that left peg, delivery denied, but a corner kick coming up once more. Nervy moments. Phoenix go quickly. Baquero. Ferrell lining up the header, he wins it. Brought down by Martinez and cleared away. Baquero launches it in. Ryden wins it for the Monarchs. Gutsy, gritty defending from Jaimison Alave's side. Long throwing from Joey Ferrell. Doesn't get all too far. Arriaga.
The fourth official is indicating there will be a minimum of 4 minutes of added
4 minutes of stoppage time. Arriaga finds Blake beautifully. Martinez coming around the bend. It's a 2v2, Johnson and Baquero defending. And Martinez will just drag it to the corner flag. Trying to win a throw-in. Takes a deflection, and it's Baquero who restarts for Phoenix.
This is a heck of a work ethic by Ben Spencer, coming all the way back, helping his boys out, and then going the other way. That's the type of role you want from your super sub, but you got to push this ball higher. It's go time. Inside 3 minutes, you put the big bodies on the field for a reason. Now utilize it.
Asante trying to use his pace. Was he taken down by Mulholland? No, but a corner kick coming up again. Corner comes in, Johnson's there, and it's over the head of Spencer. Martinez and Spencer getting into it. "90 seconds into the 4 added on. What an incredible performance from the Monarchs.
I understand the frustration by Ben Spencer here, but there's no reason to get involved at all. You've committed the foul, and that's fine. Just step away, because now you've allowed an extra 25 seconds to roll off the clock. Precious moments just being pushed to the side so unnecessarily.
Can't get it over Schmidt. Asante does just enough to win the throw-in. Nobody's sitting here at Casino Arizona Field. Wheeling. Fleming's in. Not cleared away. Here's Ferrell, and it's blocked in front. Wouldn't have that been poetic justice? Calistri taken down. He was in a tough spot and got bailed out.
He turns his ball over. They go the other way, but how about the challenge by Eric Holt in the middle of the box? Beautifully done. And Zach Lubin, he's come off the back line. They're going to throw another body into the mix.
Vaquero lofts it in. It's a dangerous ball. Plenty of bodies rising for it. Lubin back in. Sneaks through. Flemings wins the corner. Into the 4th minute of stoppage time. Back for Flemings. Tries to put it on frame. It falls for Wheelan. Corey Wheelan sends it over the south end, and that might just do it. After all the glamour, all the accolades, all the records broken, and the longest winning streak in American soccer history, Phoenix Rising FC are seconds away from being knocked out by a team that just won their first postseason game 6 days ago. Pure chaos in the USL Championship postseason. Cochran, one last roll of the dice for Phoenix. Vaquero almost sneaks through. John, it's Calistri, blocked away. Full time. It's a royal upset. The Monarchs slay the dragon that is Phoenix Rising FC. Down goes the #1 seed, and the Monarchs go into Casino Arizona Field and shock the USL Championship. And they will move on to the Western Conference Final, where they will take on the winner of El Paso and Sacramento. Absolutely incredible. 2 wins at Casino Arizona Field in 3 weeks. Michael Chang, the game winner. Jack Blake was magnificent with the equalizer. Frustration, devastation. And you can't help but say it. Feelings of coming up short for Phoenix Rising. A historic regular season. They barely got by in the conference quarterfinals and now ousted in the conference semis. Rick Sean's desperately trying to console his group. who put on such a show and gave so many memorable moments, not to just their fan base, but really to American soccer in general. A 20-game winning streak in the middle of this campaign. They set every record possible, but in a single elimination format. It's a one-off, and they get knocked off. All the credit in the world to the Monarchs, who are one of the last two teams standing in the West. Seeds 1 through 3 bow out, and it'll be a 4 via 6 or a 7. It'll be an excellent fixture tomorrow night at Southwest University. Devin Kerr, what do we make of all this?
Did a water and a nap. That was exhausting. This team deserved it. They played beautifully. They got better as the game went on. They started a little sluggish. They refound their shape. We said 4 out of the last 6 games, they've sat with those 3 center backs and allowed their wings backs to stretch the game. Could they pull the trigger once again? Rick Schantz didn't think so. He thought they would go to 4. They didn't. Now they can rotate in and out of it. But at the end of the day, this all comes down to execution. And whether it's John Harkes and Greenville in the USL League One final, whether it's John Hackworth tomorrow on the road at Highmark against the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, or Real Monarchs coming in to Casino, Arizona, every single coach said the same thing. We know what we're about. We know what the game plan is. It's just that point a year where you have to execute, and the Monarchs did it to a T. Well-deserved, and now, no matter who wins tomorrow, Western Conference Championship is in Harriman.
What an unbelievable night here in the desert. One to forget for Phoenix Rising fans, but an unforgettable season on the whole. Meanwhile, for the Monarchs, the celebration has only just begun. We're headed to a break. When we come back, we'll put a bow on it. Final score, 2-1.
At Arizona Federal, our passion is to help out the community where you live and work, because where you bank should make you feel good. Show your support for the home team with the Phoenix Rising Visa debit card. When you open a new account, you can score $100 just for using your card when you shop. How's that for an easy goal? Be a part of our commitment to the community. Arizona Federal Credit Union.
We're Carvana, the company who invented car vending machines and buying a car 100% online. Now we've created a brand new way for you to sell your car. Whether it's a few years old or dinosaur old, we want to buy your car. So go to Carvana and enter your license plate, answer a few questions, and our techno wizardry calculates your car's value and gives you a real offer in seconds. When you're ready, we'll come to you, pay you on the spot, and pick up your car. That's it. So ditch the old way of selling your car and say hello to the new way at Carvana.
Mobile Mini is a lockdown defender. Have peace of mind using Mobile Mini, guarding all of your valuables on site, at home, or at your business. Mobile Mini storage containers are made of 100% steel and maximize your protection with our patented Tri-Cam locking system that is camera-proof, cut-proof, and drill-proof. Proud partner of Phoenix Rising FC.
So much to remember from this season for Phoenix Rising Football Club. But it's a night that Jack Blake, Jameson Alave, Michael Chang, and the rest of the Real Monarchs will never forget. It was an unbelievable regular season. They get to the second round of the playoffs, but for Phoenix Rising, the buck stops here at Casino, Arizona Field, where the USL Championship final would have run through had they gotten to that point. But Corey Whelan and company could not keep the Monarchs off the board. Chang with the game winner after the equalizer from Jack Blake. And we'll take a look at the Whataburger, what a save of the match, and Zach Lubin had a couple of them in about a 2-minute stretch.
This was the area where, okay, is this where the Monarchs are going to open up and really seal the deal? And it wasn't the case whatsoever. That man right there, arguably one of the best goalkeepers all season long. Some other guys you can bring in, but he has been spectacular. And when it mattered most, he stepped up and gave his team a chance to push forth and possibly go get an equalizer. And it didn't happen, but how did we get here? Okay, well, is Solomon Asante going to make an entrance into this game? You bet he did. Opening 20 minutes, great little tuck back in. Adam John peels off. Junior Fleming's out in front. 1-0 Phoenix Rising.
That would be the only goal for Phoenix in the 2019 postseason, a group that smashed the single-season, regular season goal-scoring record. And then the Monarchs would have their say.
My biggest key for this team was unselfish play, but more impressively, their ability to not hit the panic button, because Douglas Martinez has this ball in front of him. How many times all season long he just starts to run it, guys, and he finishes it? He knew that he had to be patient, and that's what he does. Kicks it over to Jack Blake. He does what Jack Blake does. He hits double-digit goals again. Yeah, no big deal. Let's move on. 1-1. So let's go forward. Let's get some more momentum going, and they just grew into this game. Michael Chang, one of the better interior players. We know what he can do. Right and left foot distribution, set pieces, but the tiny windows that he works on in the middle of the field is where he might be the best part of his game. Beautiful finish. That gets it to 2-1. Desperation times. They went the area route. Okay, let's go up top. Let's go to Ben Spencer. We'll use Adam John. This one comes to Junior Flemings. It's not a penalty, folks. Sit back down. Trust me, he starts to lean into this. Yes, there's a nudge by Noah Powder. Yes, it could have been called a pen, but it was not, and I have no problem with it. And then the moment that everybody thought the equalizer was there. David Ochoa thought he did a spectacular job. My man, you're on the youth national team for a reason. That ain't one of them. You cough that up in the middle of the box. That should have been in the back of the net. But instead, Real Monarchs get out of here. Back-to-back wins again. Only 3 times in the history has that happened against Phoenix Rising. Real Monarchs have done it twice.
And there you have it. The Monarchs will await the winner of the Quails of Sacramento Republic and El Paso Locomotive. Southwest University is going to be rocking tomorrow night. There's no doubt about that after their upset against the Fresno Foxes. Sacramento were able to take care of business against Reno. What is going to happen in this Western I mean, it's like you said in the open. This is exactly the way it should pan out, because this is how unpredictable the West has been the entire season.
We're not going to waste everything going forward in that. I just want to talk about the Monarchs for one more second here. Think about what they have done in the past, basically 8 weeks. They've beat the #1 team, Phoenix Rising, twice. They beat Reno. They didn't play Fresno, so that doesn't matter. They beat Orange County twice, and they beat Sacramento Republic. The only team they haven't beat, by the way, is staring on the other side of the bracket, El Paso Locomotive. Regardless of what went on, a well-deserved victory, a beautiful season that could not be capped off for Phoenix Rising. Sacramento Republic, El Paso Locomotive, you're on deck.
Well, it was a long time coming for the Monarchs, who just got their first playoff win last week against Orange County, and now they've got 2, and they're headed to their first ever Western Conference final. El Paso and Sacramento await. For Phoenix Rising FC and to all the fans who tune in the entire season, we thank you for your loyalty. And Phoenix Rising will be back in 2020, but the Monarchs have the last laugh at Casino Arizona Field. Jack Blake and Michael Chang get the job done. For Devin Kerr and our crew, I'm Tyler Terrence. So long for now.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.